Welcome to the Scariest Things podcast, your gateway to the trends and tropes of the horror genre. This is episode 177, and it is the most wonderful time of the year. No, it's not Christmas. No, it's not Hanukkah. It's the top 10 of 2023.
Oh, yeah!
Everybody loves a best of list, and we are here to give you our top 10s. 12s, 16s, or maybe even 60s.
The much anticipated best of the year.
Best of the year. And I am Liz Williams, and I'm joined by, from Washington, D.C.,
Robert Zilbauer.
And in Portland,
Mike Campbell.
And Eric Lee.
Welcome.
So this
Quick thoughts on the year. Pretty good.
Good year for the studios.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Better year for the studios than in years past. The sequels didn't stink as bad. Some of them were actually pretty good, and they came up with some. I think they came up with some good new films. But I don't think like the big studios. I've got a couple in my top 10, but I think it was a better like 3-star, 4-star year for the studios than in years past. We didn't have. Yeah, with the one movie that I haven't seen, which a lot of people said sucked, but Mike and Liz seem to like okay because
what's that?
You're more tolerant. Is Exorcist Believer?
Oh yeah.
It didn't suck.
It didn't suck.
Yeah.
We're not mad. We're just disappointed.
Yeah.
Sure.
Exactly.
That's
exactly it.
That was my opinion of the year. I might be in the minority. I'm not mad. I was just disappointed. I think it got off to a slow start. I think for me there was really only two like knock it out of the park kind of films. The rest were like 3 and 4-star films that I was like, yeah, that's a pretty good film. Mm-hmm. Nothing that like there was not. I did not have an all-star top 10 lineup that I was like super excited about. The other thing I will say about this, and I think I mentioned this earlier when we talked to me. This summer on Spooky Time, go watch that episode. This is the year of Australian horror. Full stop.
Oh yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have like 4, maybe 5 Australian films in my list. They are the Australians. I don't know what's going on in Australia, but they offered some incredible stuff, and it's just amazing to me to think all of this. They produced so much stuff. Now, granted, I mean, much like Canada, much like the UK, they do have an actual cultural trust where they do get, massive subsidies to make films, and it really, really showed.
Yep. So this is we're moving south from Indonesia.
It's moving south from Indonesia, which I think Indonesia was a couple of years ago. Yep. This is I'm proclaiming this is the year of Australian horror.
So does that mean next year we're going to have movies with penguins?
Yeah.
That's our prediction.
Happy Feet
Stay tuned for that
Believer.
upcoming episode.
Yeah, Happy Feet versus The Thing.
Happy Feet Believer.
So that'll be awesome.
No, those penguins can take them. There's a lot more penguins than there are.
I think it's interesting. We had a lot of movies in the festivals that I think we got some big releases showed up at South by and Overlook this year. Right. Some of the breadth though wasn't there. I think when I went digging through some of the other festivals that we typically go through, and so I found that a lot of the movies that I liked this year actually ended up on Shudder.
Yeah, went straight to Shudder.
Yeah,
I just didn't even show up in the festivals.
Exactly, just bypassed it and went, oh, what's this? And I watched it and I was really surprised. And so there's going to be a couple of those that are on my list
for sure.
But that actually provided the bulk of like my mid-grade stuff. There was a lot of Shudder material too. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, Shudder turned it on because I think Shudder was starting to. I felt like at least Shudder was starting to become the junk pile dumpster of horror films, much like Amazon, Hulu, and Netflix. And Shudder has really turned it on in 2023. It's pretty impressive to see what they've done.
One thing that proved true to me was that Tubi does not show new films.
Tubi does have horror originals though, and I've watched one. They have Tubi has right, exactly. Tubi has a lot of horror originals, like a lot. a shocking number, like.
Well, I think
like
they're shopping the festivals.
like
I'm
30
sure.
plus.
Yeah, probably.
they did, but by originals,
But they're not great.
Yeah, and the other thing is that what ends up happening is that they help fund what they become is they're distributors.
Yeah.
And so it's not they're not the producers, they're the distributors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is
pick
the
it up
same
in
thing
the
like
festival.
XYZ,
Branded.
Yeah.
Magnet. Those if you want to check out some of the maybe I'll have to put Tubi on my big production studio
Yeah.
Well,
list.
I think and by original means you're the first place you're going to see it. They're saying it's
Yeah.
a Tubi original because that's where you
It's
can
just
see
sort
it.
of a synonym for exclusive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly, and it's they're the first ones who got hip to the to the film. Might be because it's really obscure, might be because it's kind of sketch, but they will give it to you for free, which is perhaps the
Godless.
best thing.
The Last Exorcism is on Tubi.
Yep.
Heck
So
yeah.
there's
So
some
was
good stuff. There's some gems.
And that was a festival. Certainly a festival darling on our
the
side.
Eastfield Exorcism, excuse me, not the last one.
Right. So
That's from
since this could potentially be a long program, let's get rolling.
All right.
But let's talk about how we're gonna go about this. Liz, you want to explain our process?
Sure. We've got all of our lists, and I have Joseph Perry's list, and we are going to all start at our number 10. If Robert says his number 10 was Terrifier 2, and I say I've got it higher, we're tabling any discussion until we get to the highest point. So we're going to take that little cue from Colors of the Dark, as I know they do it, and hold it for the highest rated film. Or rank. So
But
I'm going to kick it off.
What if we have 17 though?
Well,
Yeah.
then it'll be our.
Where do we?
When I get to my number 60,
How does that
we'll
work?
see if anybody else has that. But I'm going to kick it off with Joseph's number 10 because I feel like no one's going to have this.
Okay.
I've never
I'm
heard
ready
of
to
it.
take some notes.
As per usual, get ready for notes. And Joseph has The Lord of Misrule as his number 10.
The what?
I saw that on
Yes.
Shudder. I have not watched it, but I saw that.
Okay.
I saw it. It was one of those ones where it's like I wonder because a number of us went into binge mode. Those of us who could go into binge mode went into to movie binge mode, and I was like, "What is this?" Well, if I watch this, or do I watch Insidious: The Red Door? It's like,
Here's what Joseph has to say about it. He
Yeah.
says, I had a fun time with director William Brent Bell's Orphan First Kill, which did everything it could to entertain, thanks in large part to an all-in baddie performance and lots of straining in its plot. But with Irish folk horror, Lord of Misrule, the director reels things in for a darker, more serious experience, investing the film with an eerie ambience throughout. So, Irish folk horror by William Brent Bell.
Metacritic gives it a 50, so we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see about that.
That's pretty
Joseph
good.
catches all the things at the festival, so I trust Joseph.
Yep.
So, for my number 10, as I am wont to do, I have a tie. They are both two of the most fun movies I saw this year, so I put them in together because I didn't want to leave one off. One of them is one of the first horror movies I saw of the year, and it is Megan, which I gave 4 stars to.
Okay.
And my second one is one of the most recent ones I've seen, which is Eli Roth's Thanksgiving.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
That good, huh? Okay.
Yes.
I
At
haven't seen
number
that
10, I've got Megan and I've got Thanksgiving. They don't have much in common except they're both a good time. Megan is a bit of a gateway horror. I don't, think it's for the little kids, but it's for the teens.
But it's smart. I actually
smart.
caught up, and this was one of the ones that I caught in my end of the year binge. Mm-hmm. I was expecting Child's Play, and I got something that was more of a cautionary tale about artificial intelligence.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And it was, and the Megan doll is fantastic. Did you get any Megan trick or treaters this year?
We didn't, but I know that was a big Halloween costume.
Yeah,
so.
no, and particularly if there's a little girl who can do the dance. That's what I asked. I asked a little girl who came to my door if she can
Dance,
do Megan
little girl.
Dance girl.
and then her mom looked at me funny and was like, "No."
Yeah.
All right, so if no
Not
one has
not
those on their
appropriate.
list,
I
pushing
started
over
Megan.
to-
I started
you
it.
did?
Yeah,
Oh.
didn't finish it.
Okay.
Oh.
I had a blast with Megan. Maybe because it was January.
And I almost put, even though I haven't seen it, I almost put Thanksgiving on my top 10 list. Almost, because I was
nice.
like, I can guarantee you it will
it.
end up on my top 10 list if I see it.
Yeah.
But I couldn't quite go there.
Because it's not available on Tubi yet.
Right.
It's still in,
Can't have
it's still in the theaters.
an Eli Roth horror movie come out after years of him kind of staying to TV and doing some other cool stuff and not put it on my list.
Agreed.
It's Eli Roth.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, this
Agreed.
is now. Here's an example. This is, I think it's a Universal and a Warner Brothers movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both big studios.
So
Yeah.
And so again, I did not have great hopes for Megan because it looked like a big studio PG-13 nothing burger when it first came out, and I went, "Who asked for this?" And it turned out,
I did.
yeah, a lot of us. It was like
Turned out listed.
like 80 million people did because it made a lot of money, and it looks great. I thought the acting was great. Yeah.
Yep.
So who
All right.
who was our lead? It was Allison Williams.
Allison Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great.
$179 million at the old box office.
Holy cats.
Woo!
Yeah. So we're gonna get a Megan 2 at some point.
Oh yeah, Megan 2
yeah.
is coming out in 2025.
Yep. And Thanksgiving did pretty well at the theaters too.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Surprise,
continues.
surprise.
I think it's still in the
Yeah.
theaters right
Because
now.
there's kind of like a big gaping hole in the calendar right now for movies. So Thanksgiving's hanging on in the big in the theater. Mike, you can still
it's
see
made
it and you can update
31
your list.
million
I
as
know.
of Friday.
Yep.
Yeah.
So. All right, Robert, what you got?
Ooh. Well, this one, and I'm going to have to check in with Mike, see where he's got it.
Ooh.
But this I got was a suggestion from Mike because
Ooh.
it snuck onto his top 10.
Ooh.
I watched it this morning, and I put it on number 10, Birth, Rebirth,
Oh.
directed by Laura Moss.
Yeah.
Is it on your list, Mike?
It's
Is it on your list?
it was so close. So
It was-
close.
it's an honorable mention.
It's like number 11. It's literally I'm looking at my
Tied for number 10. Says
I'm
man,
looking at my
can't have
notes right now.
ties.
It is literally number 11. I really liked this film.
Me too.
The characters were so interesting, and it's like a mashup of Frankenstein and Pet Cemetery.
It's been a big
Yes.
year for Frankenstein-y movies.
Yes, it has.
Yeah, Birth Rebirth,
Dracula.
so good. Yeah, directed by Laura Moss,
Laura Moss.
in her directorial debut.
Nice.
Yeah.
Some people
Where
haven't. Yeah.
did you catch Birth Rebirth? So people can see
Birth
it?
Rebirth, you can see it on Shudder right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
This was
also Amazon.
This was
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
at Overlook that we just kind of missed
Right.
this one, Liz.
And
Yeah.
I agree. It was a terrible name.
Yeah.
It's not a great name, but man, especially given everything going on in the United States with parenting, with childcare, with abortion rights, with healthcare issues, this all gets bundled up in those things as a Frankenstein story, as a Pet Cemetery story, and it deftly weaves all those things together in this incredible metaphorical mélange.
Wow. There's some
Yeah.
alliteration for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Metaphorical melange.
yeah,
So,
it's a great movie.
Sounds like
It is
we're
a
going to have to
great-
sneak this onto our medical malfeasance
Sure.
dead
Oh,
list.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is
A melange of medical
this
malfeasance.
is like this is every single decision that the two women make is medical malfeasance.
And it just gets worse and worse.
And it gets worse and worse and worse and worse.
All right, I'm gonna have to check this one out.
Yeah.
I stayed away because of the name.
It is sort of
like-
a slow burn though. Be forewarned.
It is a very slow burn. Yeah. But Marin Ireland is she plays one of the main characters and she does a phenomenal job.
She was May, right? Marin Ireland?
No,
Was that?
no, she was in what's that one? Shoot, she's not May. May is the other
Hold on.
creepy looking girl. Marin Ireland is the blonde, and she was in a movie that Mike really liked, where someone kills himself like in the barn. It's the brother and sister.
Oh, right. Yeah.
She's in Hell or High Water.
She was in The Boogeyman,
Oh.
Eileen.
Yes, she was just in Eileen, which I gave 5 stars to, but not putting it on my horror list. She was Dark and the Wicked from 2020. That's
yes.
what she was in.
Dark and the Wicked definitely made my top 10 list for that year. Yep,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep. All right. Who's next with their number 10?
I guess it's well, we were at Robert, so I'll go.
Okay.
This is one that I saw at the H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival. It's the return of Stuart Gordon level H.P. Lovecraft stuff. This is Suitable Flesh, which I had a blast with. It is
I got that
Sexy
one
thrillers. Eric loves sexy
okay.
thrillers.
So yeah, sexy thrillers. Robert's got it higher. We're gonna punt.
All right.
Mike, what's your number 10?
Well, so I have a tie. No, I'm kidding. Actually, I do. But I do, but I'm not going to go there. This is the last film I saw of 2023. The very, very last film. I watched it last night at 11 o'clock at night, and I was shocked that it made it on the list. A, because it's from Netflix, and B, because it was the last thing I watched, and I was convinced that I wasn't going to see any other films that were going to end up on the list.
Which is?
It is called El Conde. Which is
I keep meaning to see that.
which
Yeah,
is
me
a
too.
2023 Chilean black comedy horror film that involves, it's a satirical piece involving Chilean dictator Augusto Pinochet,
Oh, wow.
who is a 250-year-old vampire who is tired of being a vampire and wants to kill himself. But his children are all the greedy, grubby Nepo babies from his years, from his decades and decades of right-wing dictatorship, and they are trying to figure out where he has hid all of his assets. But because he's a 250-year-old vampire, he kept super poor records. And they have absolutely no idea where the records are at. And so they hire a woman who happens to be a nun/exorcist to come to try to find the records and potentially exorcise Augusto Pinochet. The thing is, that all sounded really jokey and really silly, but it's all in black and white. It's got this incredible classical music score. It is one of the most beautifully shot films I have seen in years.
Netflix.
And it's on Netflix. Yeah, it's an incredible film, up to and including an appearance by Margaret Thatcher as a vampire. And again, that sounds super jokey. It's not.
They exhumed the corpse of
Margaret
Thatcher.
Yeah, if you're thinking What We Do in the Shadows, it's not that at all. It does have funny elements, but it's a very serious film. It's a very dark film, but it's just absolutely beautiful looking. So El Conde, I totally recommend people watch it.
We're gonna get another Patagonian film. So I think similar to the Australian stuff, Southern Hemisphere for the win this year.
Absolutely. Good job, Southern Hemisphere. All right.
Okay.
Back
number
to
9.
back to
For
Joseph.
Joseph.
Yeah. Joseph's number 9 film is Cobweb. Does anybody else have Cobweb
I
on
do.
their
No.
list? Oh, you do?
So punt that one.
Higher on
Punt
the list.
that.
Higher on the list.
Okay.
Oh,
Higher on the list.
Eric's number
So-
1.
No, but it surprised the hell out of me.
Okay.
Yeah, it was-
Okay.
Okay. My number 9 is one that Joseph actually told me about, and it is The Coffee Table. Directed by
Oh,
Kay
geez.
Casas, and we said it was the Spanish contributor of the Feel Bad Movie of the Year. Joseph caught it at Fantaspoa in May, and I caught it at Fantasia, and boy, is it a Feel Bad movie, but it is also a pitch black comedy. The first, 3/4 of the film are absolutely hilarious, and it's real funny until it's not. So stay cold. Don't find out anything else about it. You can read Joseph Review. He doesn't give anything away on thescariestthings.com. And The Coffee Table should be coming our way in early 2024.
Yeah, I remember you talking about this one.
Is
Yes.
it La Mesita del Comedor?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. La mesita del comedor.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Sure.
I met the director at Fantastic Fest, where, of course, people went crazy for it, and he apologizes to everyone for making this film because it's going to depress you
Woo!
and ruin your day.
So
But you're also going to be laughing.
It must have been released in Spain in 2022. It looks
Probably,
like.
and
Yeah,
it hit
yeah, yeah.
American festivals in 2023.
Right,
and
right.
hopefully it will start streaming here in 2024.
Okay, there you go. This
The
is
coffee table.
yeah. All right.
All right, Eric. Oh no, Robert.
Oh, me.
Yep.
Okay, number 9. Going back to Netflix for this one.
Okay.
And one of my favorite people, and I'm not actually sure why, but he's got some good stuff. But Mr. Paco Plaza, his Veronica movie is one of my favorites, and this is a prequel to Veronica, Hermana Muerte, Sister Death.
Oh, I seen this one on Netflix and haven't checked it out yet. Okay.
It's pretty good. I mean, if you like Veronica, it's just it's the story of the creepy nun who's very old in Veronica. They call her Sister Death. This is her story. This is how she became that creepy old lady in Veronica. So yes,
Hopefully, it's a more clear through line than the Nun too.
Yeah, which was
or a more clear backstory. Because like I noticed in the Nun 2, the backstory was like completely changed around from the Nun 1, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's not the backstory they had in the Nun 1. Totally different backstory in Nun 2, and I'm like, you can't change the backstory.
Oh, you totally can when the movie's as bad as the Nun 1.
Yeah, I guess that's
you just do
true.
what you want.
Right?
Yeah.
But anyway, so this is Veronica. This is the younger. This is a prequel. Then yeah.
This is a prequel.
Okay.
So there is
Veronica.
well, actually, at the very end of the movie, there's a great cameo by Veronica and the old Sister Death from the first movie. They kind of reprise their roles at the very end of the movie, which is really charming and cool. But this one, no, this is a younger version of the old nun, how she kind of got her start, and the actress who plays it did phenomenally. It's her first feature film. Aria Bedmar is her name.
All right.
And the cinematography is beautiful. It's hard to go wrong when everyone's wearing these great white, bright flowing nun robes and they're turning around and running through corridors. And I mean, yeah. And plus the cinematographer was mostly learned his trade in music video. So
interesting.
there's a lot of very, very stylish.
And the poster is awesome. That is definitely ended up on the top 10 list of the year. Top 10 best posters of the year. That's happening.
On
Sister Death.
okay.
Yeah. Hermana Muerte.
When I think of flowing robes in music videos, I think Total Eclipse of the Heart. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
It's
Not
almost
those
that,
kind
yeah.
of robes. Yeah. More like cloaks.
Yeah, and less ninjas.
Yeah.
All right. So was it me or Mike? It's
Number
me.
9.
Okay. So I've got a movie that I doubt that you guys have because
Oh boy.
you would have had to attended either Sigis or the H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival. So 2 in a row for Gwen and Brian.
Nice.
This is a Greek film called Minor, directed by Konstantinos Kostaliotis. I hope I said that right. So this is in Minor, tentacled cosmic horrors besiege a seaside Greek town, and it's up to the patrons of a local taverna to save the city. The directors, and if you go check out the H.P. Lovecraft site, they have a interview with the director and writer. They refer to this as my big fat Greek monster movie, and it really captures this boozy spirit of fun and zaniness. It's that a giant monster thing with tentacles and lots of eyeballs emerges from the Aegean, and they start infiltrating the city, and it's really like a lot of they have about 20 characters, and each of them has about the same amount of prominence. So nobody you'd know, but some real fun characters. It punches well above its weight class because this guy was the Costiliotis was the storyboarder, or not the storyboarder, the VFX lead for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, wow.
So it
sounds a lot like Grabbers.
Yes, it is. It's like Grabbers and Mamma Mia.
in Greece.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
There's
Is
a lot
there
of
singing?
There's some
Is it a
great
musical?
music. They wrote a bunch of original music and they perform on stage.
Yeah. What H.P. Lovecraft story is it based on?
It's not. It's
okay.
it's cosmic
It's
horror.
just got tentacles.
It's Lovecraft.
just got
esque.
tentacles.
Okay.
They were inspired. They said they went to a music festival and they said, you know, what'd be cool is what if a giant Lovecraftian monster emerged from the water and killed everybody.
All right.
So that's where they went.
How cool would that be?
It is
awesome.
it is fun. It is fun. It looks terrific. It's light. But it's got a lot of action. The comic timing hits. The characters are kind of comic booky, but they're really fun. So,
All right.
anyways,
All right.
it's not out yet. So that will probably be a 2024 landing for someone's going to pick it up. It's really good.
Stay tuned.
Okay.
Mike.
Was this my number 9?
9.
Oh, okay. Number 9. I put TV on the list last year for the first time in the history, my short history with the Scariest Things
It's hard to
podcast.
stop once you start.
I'm putting TV on again with a series created by Donald Glover and Janine Neighbors.
Okay.
Oh.
So we're
Called
punting.
Swarm. Yeah.
Table it.
All right. Swarm.
Joseph's
All right,
number
we are
8.
back with Joseph's number 8, which is, and I think this might make some other people's lists, Brooklyn 45. Ted Gagan.
Didn't make my.
It's going on my worst of the year list.
Oh,
no.
Worst of the year
Well,
list.
Let me say what Joseph has to say about this film, because he says writer-director Ted Gagan's terrific Brooklyn 45 is a chamber piece film that addresses real-life horrors as well as otherworldly ones. With a gripping story and a masterclass in acting from its ensemble cast, filled with names familiar to all genre film aficionados, this feature is one that fear fans of all stripes need to add to their must-see list, except for Mike.
Except for me.
That's
Yeah,
what he wrote.
Yeah, I really
All right.
enjoyed this too, and actually I got a chance to interview Ted, but unfortunately, the recording was one that recorded one microphone and not the other, and so it was we couldn't post it.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, that was like me not checking my recording monitors. I think I was
Life.
distracted at the
Stuff
festival.
happens when you're in a food court.
I thought it was a
all
good-looking
trying to
film.
interview.
It was well acted. It was just boring as hell, and there was no scares whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't think it was. I didn't find it particularly scary, but I loved the stage drama. It was a mystery. It was more of a mystery than a horror movie for me.
It did seem like a stage play.
It
Yeah,
was very
it was
and
like
it was
Yeah.
created that way, and it was
Oh.
it was a collaboration between Ted Gagan and Larry Fessenden, who
Yeah.
lives down the street from them.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It really gave Larry a chance to pull out his leading man chops, which he usually plays secondary characters who get offed in horrible ways.
Mm-hmm.
But Larry is also a producer par excellence.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I thought, I gave it a 4-star review, and it landed for me.
I'd probably
like
say
in the
3
20s.
star, 2.5,
Yeah.
3. A little bit boring for me. But
I had it at 26 on my list.
my number 8 is not boring at all. My number 8 is my first Aussie film of the night,
Okay.
and it is Beaten to Death.
Yeah.
I
Anybody
forgot about
else?
this
I
was
knew that.
Australian.
All right,
Yeah.
Beaten to Death.
Yeah.
So in my review,
Did I feel bad
said,
after seeing it? Then it must
Oh,
be on
yeah.
Liz's list.
Yeah.
This film is gorgeously shot, wonderfully active, and insanely bloody. I watched through the coward's veil and had to plug my ears to stop the screaming. This was made by Sam Curtin. I gave it 4.5 stars out of 5, and 5 intensity, blood drops for intensity and gore. It is brutal. It is nihilistic, and it is available for you to rent on all your VOD platforms. Just close out your year
lovely evening.
with a bang. Yes, for a lovely evening. All right, Robert, what you got at number 8?
Number 8 comes to us from a director who's responsible for a lot of the Robot Chicken.
Oh.
Okay.
Also from comic book phenom Robert Kirkman.
Mm.
And the Emmy Award winning, one of the Emmy Award winning writers from Rick and Morty,
Wow.
Yep.
Renfield.
Yeah.
It's an
there you
honorable
go.
mention for me.
Yeah, I would mean mine. Honorable mention for me too. I think. Yeah, that was Liz and
So
I
much
caught the
fun.
world premiere.
So
the
much
movie
fun.
that suffered from some of the worst marketing in the history of marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
They should have called it Dracula's Buddy.
Yeah.
Yes, they should have.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage at some of his caginess. I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
it was wonderful. I loved the whole thing.
It was so bloody. It was so
And
was.
so funny.
and we
It
were
was
just
super funny.
laughing.
Aquafina. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
Great cast.
I loved the ska jokes too. that was the gift that kept on giving for me. I mean, everybody could find a little piece that would get a
I'm
chuckle out.
glad it's on your list because it deserves so much more recognition than it got.
does.
And I
It
think
does.
it will come. Like people
Yeah.
will start catching this. Especially, I mean, Nicolas Cage has a movie out. I swear to God, every weekend there's a
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage movie at
Yeah.
the theaters. But maybe as people start to look for him or see, Dream Scenario or something, they say, "What else do you do this year?" And they'll catch Renfield.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
right.
hoping.
Renfield was 15 on my list.
Mm.
I
If
thought it was
like the people who wanted to see the Meg too, like that, you're gonna watch Renfield.
They
It's
should
an
watch
Oh, it's so
action
much better.
horror comedy.
Oh,
It is.
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah, for sure.
Just
Yeah.
less water.
Right.
Just a little bit less water.
Yeah, big teeth though. You got
Yeah.
it was for Mike. Yes, fangs.
I know. I put a vampire movie at number 10. Come on now.
Yeah.
Number 10, vampire movie.
They don't
First time
sparkle.
ever. First time ever. First time a vampire movie has ever showed up on my top 10 list.
Whoa.
Ooh.
All right. So my
All right, Eric.
my number 8 is Cobweb. So this is
okay.
directed by Samuel Bowden, and it stars Lizzie Kaplan, Anthony Starr, who you might know from The Boys. He is the he's the big bad in The Boys.
Okay.
And a young actor named Woody Norman. Where when it started, the movie felt like a Babadook kind of film where you had a kind of a disturbed kid who's hearing knocking on his in the walls. The house really could use a new paint job because it's like gray green everywhere. But the parents are having this kid's getting picked on at school, and he lashes out, and he gets sent back home, and the parents are weirdos, and there's some deep dark secrets. There's something in the walls, and there are some really good twists. It has great jump scares. It's got great atmosphere. Both of the adult leads are magnetic. They're they're kind of they go hot and cold, but they're always menacing. Relative, like if there's like good cop or bad cop and worse cop in the household, that's the way it kind of plays. So I had a lot of fun with this.
Joseph agrees with you. He said it boasting a playful, suspenseful screenplay, eerie set design, solid special effects, and engaging performances with assured direction. Cobweb is a blast. Go in as cold as possible, and you will come out feeling highly satisfied.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it reminds me of a much better version of another movie that I don't want to mention because it would spoil it.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
Because this one has the source of the knocking. Once it becomes clear of what's going on, I don't want to spoil that, but it's cool.
Don't spoil that.
It's cool, and it's really the violence comes, and it's from in many ways it becomes a big rumble. Anyways, Cobweb.
And it's set on Halloween favorite.
Yes.
So.
Okay, Mike.
Mike.
All right. This is film directed by David Gordon Green. It is Exorcist Believer. Yes.
No way.
I put it on the list.
Number 8.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. And I'm here to tell you, I actually shed a tear at the very end of the film when Linda Blair shows up. Spoiler alert: Linda Blair shows up at the end of the film. That just plucked
all
at
that
my
marketing, and she shows up at the end.
Plucked at my demonic heartstrings. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: every single film in the Exorcist universe post 1973 has big, massive pluses and minuses.
The second one has pluses.
Some have way more pluses than minuses, and I think this one is a really decent film. I think it's really good. I think the only thing that really bugged me about it was the sort of the cloying nature of the religious super friends at the end of the film, where they banded together 5 different religions to fight the demon. That was the only thing that was a little bit bothersome to me. But that otherwise, I thought it was really good, and I thought the depiction, the actual visual depiction of hell, was really freaky. Yeah,
I'll tell you what, for me, I really enjoyed this movie up until the exorcism began to happen. The scene in the hospital is so tense and so great. And
with Ellen Burstyn,
kind of went when they're getting the girls, like the first hospital scene. It had exorcist vibes. It was frenetic. It was stressful. Yeah, but then. Yeah, I think it was the speaking in tongues neighbor that really just took me out of the action.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Exorcist super friends at the end of the film is a bit much to take, but
Exorcist super friends.
But I think it's a really solid film. I know a lot of people hated it.
2.5 to 3 stars.
Yeah, I said 4. I went 4. I went 4 with it for sure.
I missed out on this because right now you can only get it on Peacock. I don't have a subscription, and so you have to buy it for $20 if you want to watch it.
Give you my
right.
Save you $20.
So who are the so?
It's not worth $20.
So you got the 5 super friends. You got Catholics, Mormons, Mennonites. What do you got?
No Mormons.
Hindu?
You got like a Baptist couple, you get Catholics, you get sort of like a voodoo priestess, you get kind of New Age,
spiritualism.
Yeah.
You got Muslims.
Islam.
No,
I don't think so.
No,
they weren't invited.
They weren't invited.
Sorry.
Muslims.
Even though you're a Hasidic religion, we're not going to take you or Judaism.
They probably
because
turned down the invitation to the Super Friends gathering.
We don't want to piss off a large religious group, so we'll stick to just within Christianity.
Catholics know that.
I think Enya was there.
Enya.
Okay.
That's a hot take, Mike. That's a hot take.
Yeah.
Good on you, Mike.
The rest will suck, I guarantee it, but this one was pretty solid.
Okay.
At number 7, we're tabling Joseph's because Joseph has talked to me at number 7.
Yeah.
And
higher.
I myself have it higher. So I think we're going to probably be tabling my number 7 also because I'm sure people have this higher because I have When Evil Lurks.
Yeah, way higher.
7.
I have it at. I also have it at 7.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
But we're still. Mike says higher.
Yeah,
so
higher.
Go over to Robert for his number 7.
My number 7 is the one that Eric just tried to talk about just a little while ago. H.P. Lovecraft adaptation of his 1933 story, The Thing on the Doorstep.
Oh.
Barbara Crampton and Heather Graham.
Suitable Flesh.
Oh, yeah. Where can we see Suitable Flesh now? Is it available? It is on Shudder. Okay.
Yep. It actually
on top of it.
They moved pretty quickly after
Shudder. Okay.
Lovecraft.
Also Amazon. In case that comes up.
Oh, okay.
Yep. But it's sexy horror.
Yes.
And a great doppelganger thing, and very true to the thing at the doorstep.
It was.
And I think one of my my better interviews was with the writer
Dennis Paoli.
And he was you could talk to him forever. He's a walking dictionary of Lovecraftian horror. He's terrific, and all of his because he worked with Stuart Gordon for all those years.
Right.
So,
and
this
awesome
is,
poster.
And I think that it was
awesome
dedicated.
poster.
Yeah.
to Stuart Gordon.
Yeah, and a tribute to two older actresses who still are at the top of their craft. Heather Graham was fantastic. She because everybody has to play two roles.
Heather Graham's like 45.
No, she's 50.
She's in her 50s.
She's 52.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So she's
not that old.
Well, for playing,
No, it's not bad.
but playing but if you're playing,
It's not bad.
you're casting a 52-year-old as your erotic horror.
Yeah.
I
thriller
look like
lead.
Heather Graham when I'm 52. It's
Yeah.
not going to happen.
We should
if they don't
all
have
look
the
like
boobs,
Heather
but
Graham.
Hey,
Right,
like,
Heather Graham and Barbara Crampton have been
They are
hiding.
hot.
They have been hiding the Fountain of Youth, and we should actually stalk them to find out where the
Barbara
fountain
Crampton,
is.
for sure. That lady.
Yeah.
Smoke show.
Yep.
All right. Good choice. All right, what are we at? Number 6.
Number 6.
I don't think any. Oh,
Yeah.
No.
Number 7 for Mike because
Eric.
I got
Mike, sorry.
number 7 was When Evil Lurks, so I'm passing.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Mike?
passing. Okay.
Oh, my number 7, sticking with big budget Hollywood horror films. This is a film directed by Rob Savage. This is Boogeyman.
Nice.
Nice.
Based on the 25-page Stephen King story from 1978. Fast forward 45 years, The Boogeyman is back as a full-on fright fest, featuring David Dastmalchian as Lester Billings, the super creepy and deeply fractured
was
individual.
Yes.
Very
Very powerful for as much as he's in it.
Boogeyman is super
exactly.
solid. It is jump scares aplenty, and the thing I really liked about it is they largely hide the Boogeyman. You do get sort of vague glimpses of the Boogeyman towards the tail end of the film, towards a really, really tail end of the film. But then otherwise, you don't really know what this thing is.
Well, it's the monster in the closet, and that's always in shadow. I mean,
that
is the tradition. It's like
Which I thought was awesome. That was a great way to do it.
Yeah, and it's pretty incredible to think that they could take a 25-page Stephen King story and rework it into a feature-length film.
I think Maximum Overdrive was shorter.
Yeah. But
That's why it's such a feat. They could take it and work it into a top 10 film.
But that said, I think the 25-page story, spoiler alert, is way darker than
this is PG-13.
than the film.
Yeah.
I think it was rated R. Or is it?
Oh, was it really?
It's PG-13.
PG-13. Okay.
But it's good. It's a
good
scary
fun.
PG-13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that you're absolutely right. Some of the best jump scares of the year.
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
This. And hats off to Sophie Thatcher, who is our teenager, and Vivian Lyra Blair, who you would know from if you suffered through the Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Yep.
She's the little girl.
Yeah.
In this, but
Yeah,
really
all the child actors super good.
and the dad playing
Also very good.
Chris Messina
Yeah.
was
Yep.
he had the want to, but he was because there's a tragedy.
Yeah,
that they get beset upon. It's sort of they inherited the boogeyman,
Right.
Because
and
of
I guess
their
that's
grief.
that's the twist is the tragedy in the original is way darker than the tragedy in the film, but you need the tragedy in the film to explain why you would extend this out an hour and a half.
Yeah, no, and it was
Right.
it was worth the hour and a half.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Totally.
All right.
Totally worth
Back
it.
to
Okay.
Joseph.
Joseph.
Since another Lovecraftian horror film, but I don't think this is on anybody else's list. This is The Deep Dark. Anybody have this on their list?
No, but it was on
No.
my watch list.
Okay. Oh, well, here's what Joseph says. Lovecraftian horror films are arguably hotter than ever, which I feel like we're proving right now. And France checks in with The Deep Dark, which I found to be a highly entertaining and intriguing creature feature about a group of 1950s miners who discover a crypt from another time, unknowingly waking up a bloodthirsty monster. With a goodly supply of patented French nihilism and super gore effects, The Deep Dark is a must-see cinema for creature feature buffs and Lovecraft aficionados. Eric, this sounds like it has your name written.
It
all over
sure does. I just
Yeah.
ran out of time. I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't know about it until all of a sudden I started. This was in the binge where I'm going, what have I not seen yet? What have I not seen yet? There are about eight films that were on my list that I didn't see. It doesn't have a good trailer. And so that
it's got the thing written all over it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be.
Is it available for streaming right now?
Yes, it is. So so that's where I saw it. I think it was on Shudder.
Oh, okay.
And so I kind of went, I'll get to it, and then I think I watched Insidious Red Door instead. or The Nun 2 or something like that. It's like, because, I think what the thing with I'm really glad that Joseph caught this because, part of our duty as Scariest Things folks is to get movies to people that people can actually get access to. And the festival films sometimes are tricky. I've got a couple that I haven't hit the ground yet. So
does not look like you can stream it yet.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah. Not available for
I
streaming.
put it on my watch
Yeah, I
list.
thought I saw it. Yeah.
So
I'm not seeing it anywhere.
because you don't use Amazon though, do you?
Yeah, I have Amazon.
Okay.
Yep. I have Amazon. I got Shudder. Got Hulu. Got Netflix. Got Tubi.
I got it all.
Too
Too many things. Yeah.
The Piper comes calling at the end of the year when it's like renewal fees.
Pay the bills.
Yep.
But this will pivot nicely over to my number 5. Speaking of Amazon,
There we go.
I have got. Oh wait, no, I meant number 6. Excuse me, not number 5, but it is a 5-star movie from me, and I gave Totally Killer my number 6 spot.
Well, mine's higher.
Ooh, okay.
Oh,
Table
okay.
it.
80s nostalgists.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. What do you got at number 6, Robert?
Number 6, I think we tried to talk about this earlier. From the Argentinian mastermind Demian Rugna,
Okay.
When Evil Lurks.
Is it
Higher.
Got it higher than 6?
Okay.
It's higher.
Okay.
It was higher.
It's higher.
All right.
Tabling this one.
It'll be interesting to see at 6. This is one of the early movies on our roster. I had a complete blast with it. This is Elizabeth Banks' Cocaine Bear. Anybody else have Cocaine Bear?
Nope.
No,
Oh my God!
but I love that you put it on there.
This is wackadoodle. This is like Black Bear finds a cachet of coke in Appalachia and goes on a bloody rampage through a bunch of idiot folks in the Smoky Mountains. This was a lot gorier than I thought it was going to be. It could have used some more bear.
Yeah.
But at the same time, my God, this put a smile on my face. I loved it.
It was hilarious.
It is.
Yeah, it was
If you think someone
hilarious.
getting dragged behind an ambulance is hilarious.
Where it's like, do bears climb? Yes, they do. and have the bear lying on top of the guy and there was just the sight gags were fantastic.
Yes.
When we had the bear, it was some of the most fun you'll have in the movies. And so I forgive it that it had a big cast of people to get offed by the bear.
Yeah.
So yeah, just I found all the characters colorful and fun. So
And Ray Liotta's last film.
Ray
ever.
Liotta's last
Yeah.
film.
Ever. His
Yeah.
last film.
Rest in peace.
And he
Rest in peace, Ray Liotta.
He got cubbed to death.
Yeah.
He did.
So yeah, that was fun. I had Cocaine Bear. More horror from Elizabeth Banks, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what she
Yes.
said.
Yeah. All right.
Right,
My number 6 is The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster by Bomani J.
nice.
Story.
Mm-hmm.
This is this is a fresh take on man's inhumanity to man in the context of the Frankenstein mythos.
Another Frankenstein movie.
Anybody else have it?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Yeah.
It's
Loved it though. Great
It's
movie.
fresh. It has some really great jump scares, and it's a story that is packed with empathy, with love, and a teen black girl taking on the role of
Mad scientist.
Dr.
Yeah.
Victor Frankenstein.
In fact, I love that her little buddy goes, "Mad scientist, mad scientist."
right.
And I think Bomani, he wrote this too, didn't he?
Yeah.
that was one crackerjack script. That was you listen to Mike's interview with Bomani. It's terrific.
Great interview.
And I thought this was The Wire meets Frankenstein.
Kind of, yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Because it felt like because I thought is this Baltimore? I mean,
Right.
You know how I feel about Frankenstein, but
It's all shot in. I think it's all shot in a project in.
It's in North Carolina,
Raleigh, I think.
Yeah.
Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina.
Yeah.
I think the thing for me that really where he really knocked it out of the park was the casting. There is not a bad performance in this entire group.
Yep.
I think they could have tightened up some of the Frankenstein-y elements, but that otherwise every single actor actress in this film is just superb.
Yeah, and it's got it's got a fantastic ending. It's got this that it gives you it will run you through the paces of emotions at the very end of the movie.
Right, and you might be seeing Angry Black Girl and Her Monster Part 2, maybe.
I hope so. We'll see how well it does. This was a festival, darling. You caught it at South by?
Cut it at South by, and it is now on Shudder. I know this for sure.
Yeah, I just watched it on. I caught it in my binge. And
All right,
it was really good.
Moving back to Joseph.
Okay, at number 5, Joseph has another folk horror feature called The Wait. Does anybody have this?
No.
I have not heard of
Putting it on my list now.
I know.
Because it's a Joseph movie.
Good thing about Joseph's list. Haven't heard any of them. Haven't seen any of them.
So this one comes from writer and director F. Javier Gutierrez, and he directs his folk horror feature superbly, investing the film with a dark sense of foreboding from the start, with the dirt-poor existence of a man and his family and the oppressive heat being palpable in this occult chiller. So, add The Wait
it's about
to your list.
Hot people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Temperature hot people.
As opposed to suitable flesh.
As opposed to suitable flesh, about very hot people.
Right.
Getting hot. Okay, we are at my number 5 film. Some people don't even think it's a film. No one know what year it came out. It has no plot, and it's Skinamarink. 5 stars. Scared me to death. One of the first movies I saw in the theater this year, sitting next to a friend of the podcast, Tom Carter. All I'm going to say is toy phone jump scare. Mic drop, Skinamarink. Experience.
Liminal horror. It really forces you to stare at the screen at little things that aren't moving.
Yes.
Yep. All right.
Did it make anybody else's list?
I couldn't get into it. I'll be honest.
I still haven't seen it.
It is unique.
It was on Joseph's last year list because it also came out. It's come out every year for like the past 3 years.
I think it
has. This will be a hot take kind of a movie. I mean, it's just.
I left torn.
Yeah.
I was neither like I didn't hate it, I didn't love it. I was torn.
I gave it 3 stars.
Okay.
Because
torn.
I respected it.
Yeah.
But boy, I was staring at the movie, waiting for something to happen for a lot of the time. And I was like,
I loved it.
Yeah. All right. Robert.
All right, Robert.
My number 5, which might be higher on some people's thing, it goes back to Netflix and is a TV series.
Hold it.
Holding.
Okay.
Fall of the House of Usher. We're holding. All right, Eric.
I have one that will not be on any of your lists. This is Hundreds of Beavers from Popcorn Frights. To call this a horror movie is a stretch, but I loved it so much. It is, it's part Buster Keaton, part Wile E. Coyote. It's furries. This is the movie that you should see instead of Five Nights at Freddy's. This is so much fun. It is raucous. Absolutely. If you as a kid laughed out loud to Looney Tunes, and instead these things just get these beavers and rabbits and other things get completely blown up. It is so weird and wacky. This thing is a lot of fun. Is it
available for streaming yet?
Not yet.
Not
so
yet.
This
Okay.
is so I have to
Hundreds of
couch that.
beavers.
So catch it
Keep
when it
your
shows
eye
up.
on Hundreds of Beavers.
It's black and white, furry action horror comedy
From the Beaver State.
and just well from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Not the Beaver. Well, come on. That's not the Beaver
Yeah,
State.
that's a Badger State.
Yep.
But that's that highly recommended. You will not see anything like it. Wile E. Coyote.
Okay.
But with severed heads and really wicked contraptions.
All right. Where are we at? Number 5? This is number 5?
Number 5.
All right. Yeah, speaking of sort of horror non sequiturs, but continuing on with Australian horror, film directed by Matt Vesely. This is Monolith, about a podcaster. And who doesn't love horror films about podcasters? It's a podcaster who focuses on weird and unexplained phenomena in her podcast Beyond Believable. As Liz Williams said, fans of Pontypool and Scariest Things favorite Vast of Night, as well as films by Britt Marling and Shane Carruth, will not want to miss Monolith. It also stars Lucy Campbell, who is in Evil Dead Rise. This is a film that is so gripping and so fascinating that it will literally have you. I was on the edge of my seat, my actual edge of my seat.
Next to him. I can
Yes,
confirm.
my edge of my seat
He had
at
all this seat left.
at the Alamo Draft House. Alamo Draft House. There was no seat left.
Nice.
All right, back to
All right.
Joseph.
All right. Is this the time when we're talking When Evil Lurks? Because Joseph has it at number 4.
Sure isn't.
I think.
We're holding it.
Sure
Okay.
isn't.
Oh, my goodness.
Sure isn't.
Punt. Robert. Or
Now-
no, Liz.
My number 4 is Late Night with the Devil.
Oh,
Anybody
haven't
else
seen
I
have
have
it
it higher.
punt that.
Punting? Okay.
Punt it.
Hunting.
Okay.
My number 4 is actually a tie.
Oh,
Okay.
Here we go.
I know Eric hates ties.
Eric's Robert's top
But they're
15.
both horror comedies, so I thought it was fitting that I put them both at number 4.
Okay.
The first one is directed by Nanachka Khan.
Yes.
Totally
Okay.
killer.
Totally killer.
There you
I
go.
had that at my number 6, excuse me. I gave it 5 stars.
Me too.
You're gonna be hard pressed to find a better time
It
watching
was
a movie.
awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally awesome. Yes.
Totally 80s.
Back to
totally
the Future meets slasher film.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
even like work in the Mandela effect and the whole thing. And I
Awesome.
mean,
And
it's
Back
just,
to the Future.
and Back to the Future. It was super well done.
I love the whole Mama Sita.
yeah.
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 The totally caught all the. I think Liz, you got a chance
If
to
you-
interview the.
Yep. The
The
editor,
editor.
Jeremy
Oh, the
Combs.
editor.
So listen
Yeah, yeah.
to that.
If you grew up in the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
this is your movie.
Yep.
The other one, Notice Me, Senpai. Notice Me. Onyx, the Fortune.
Oh, it's in my honorable mentions. That was a good time. Oh,
Yeah.
goodness.
I had so much
It
fun
was a
with
pretty
that.
good imitation.
Also, Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton in the same movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
They don't share any scenes together, but take what
Yeah.
I can get.
Got
This
the band
was.
back together.
Exactly.
If you can handle an extreme personality, you will get a lot of gold out of this. This is.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's the key.
It is.
I think it's a very well done film. I could not handle the extreme personality. I was
I
think
turned
that's
off.
what-
I was
I
turned
think
off
they had
from
the
minute
same
one.
problem with Deadstream.
Yeah.
Yep,
I
exactly.
liked Deadstream, and Mike didn't like Deadstream for
Exactly.
the exact
Yeah.
same
So
reason.
Mike
Yeah.
probably doesn't like
Yeah.
Ace Ventura and the Water Boy and those kinds of things.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is your caveat going into it. If you like those kinds of wacky personalities,
Yes.
there are.
Andrew Bowser is a
Yeah.
wacky personality.
It's.
Very
I
much
had
so.
I had
Onyx-
a lot of fun with it.
It's a very well done film,
The
and there
puppets
are lots of great gags, and the puppets are wonderful. It's just
puppets,
if
yeah.
you got to get
And the
over that
Meatloaf tribute.
first hump,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a big hump.
it's a big hump.
Yep. All right.
Love it.
Okay.
Eric.
Eric's number 4.
Evil Dead Rise.
Oh, that's my
Okay.
number
It's
4.
my honorable
That's my
mention.
number 4.
Yeah.
Mine's
Okay.
What?
Ooh,
Okay.
Table it.
Tabled. All right. We'll talk about it later, Mike.
Oh
what's
wait,
your
no,
four?
that's we're talking about it now
Robert's
it's
higher.
Higher.
Oh,
Robert's
higher.
oh,
list.
Robert says higher. Okay. Well, then my number 3 is Late Night with the Devil.
Higher.
Oh, Eric says higher. Oh, see,
Oh
now
my
we're getting.
gosh. All right. We're back to Joseph. Joseph's number 3 is not going to be on anybody else's list. It's another Irish folk horror movie, and it's called All You Need Is Death.
Oh my gosh.
Anybody?
He's
So
just
read
making
what
these
Joseph
titles
said.
up.
This is 2 Irish folk horror movies on one list. Okay, we thought Australia was taking over. We've been sleeping on Ireland. All right. Writer and director Paul Duane's Irish folk horror All You Need Is Death is about a young couple who surreptitiously collect rare, unrecorded folk songs to sell for a profit. It's a terrific slow burner that fairly drips with dread as it takes viewers on a ride to wholly unexpected places. Aficionados of weird fiction and cinema should find plenty at which to marvel. Mike, this sounds like one you might be into.
I know.
Recorded folk songs and selling them for
Yeah,
profit.
yeah.
I don't know.
Mike
Music,
is big on the folk horror.
I know.
Ireland.
I know.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I'm getting after
All
it.
right.
Assuming it
My
really
number
exists.
3.
Assuming it exists, I'm getting
I
after
know.
it.
I did.
Right. Exactly.
My number 3, and we can all talk briefly about it,
Uh-huh.
is Fall of the House of Usher.
Yes.
Yeah,
Let's
it
do
did not
higher?
make it did not make my list.
Nope. Go ahead. You guys go.
Oh.
So me and Robert have an Iron
Yeah.
Yeah, get to
5
it.
stars. Mike
5
Flanagan.
stars.
Holy moly, I love that man.
It was beautiful.
It
was beautiful.
Awesome.
It
Yeah.
was just beautifully shot. All the sets and everything. The costumes were luxurious.
Mhm.
Yeah. All
It
the
was
performances were top notch, and the way he could take Poe, weave all the stories together, and put it in a contemporary context
Yes.
with like the big pharma was. I don't even understand like how that man brain works, but I'm here for everything he does.
Absolutely.
And it's 7 episodes. Plow through it.
As
Limited
quickly as
series.
possible.
Yeah,
Yes.
just
And-
binge.
For those, I just found out today that this is actually a full roster of Poe stories, not just
Right.
the
Yeah.
the Fall of the House.
Every
of Usher.
episode is titled after a different Poe story,
Yeah.
and it each features the demise of one of Roderick Usher's children in
Right.
the way that the Poe story happened.
And
So,
Mark Hamill's character is
yes,
fantastic.
Pym. He plays Pym, and man, would I watch a series about that
right.
guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be
All right.
forewarned.
Netflix,
It's not
call
Luke.
me.
It's not Luke Skywalker.
It's not.
It's
It's
not Luke
No
Skywalker.
lightsabers.
Very, very
All
different.
That was my number 3. Could have
Robert.
easily been number 1. Also, it's so good.
It is very good. My number 3, which might be tabled, features a large radioactive lizard.
Higher.
Oh.
Ooh.
Eric's throwing down.
Yep.
All right, Eric. What's your number 3?
Talk to me.
Oh,
Higher.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Hunting. Mike. See, we're going quicker.
My number 2. My number 2, because we're going to 2, right?
Yep.
Yeah. My number 2. Talk to me.
Higher.
Higher.
Oh. Okay. All right. We're at the number 1 film.
All right, Joseph's number 2. You'll Never Find Me. Anybody?
Oh, I wanted to see that. That
Yes.
was at a yes.
This
I
was
know it.
also
I
at
haven't seen it yet.
Fantastic Fest. So, You'll Never Find Me is an unsettling slice of horror fare about 2 strangers who meet on a stormy night. It's designed to keep viewers on edge from its opening moments, and it does so magnificently. Learn nothing about it and put it high on your need-to-see list. Joseph gives it his highest recommendation. So,
You'll never find me.
That's actually one I've heard of, at least.
yeah, yes. I heard of it too. It was
Yay
at
me.
Fantastic
Yeah.
Fest, and I didn't get to see it. To be honest, the premise or right up there didn't appeal to me. Joseph should have written that programming, so I would
I
have
think
gotten
you
it
should
in
have,
the theater.
yeah.
All right, my number 2. Mike, get ready to talk about Swarm.
Oh, yeah. Love Swarm.
Uh,
Too. Nice.
Dude,
Yeah.
I knew from the second I saw this before South by Southwest, because thank you, Amazon, for a screener, that this
Yeah.
was going to be probably, I thought it was going to be the best thing I saw all year. I could have swapped it with number 1, to be honest. Donald Glover, it's absolutely fantastic.
So, how many episodes did you see at South by?
I got to see all of them because I had screeners from Amazon, but at South by, it opened up South by Southwest, a TV series opened
Yeah.
up South by Southwest.
Yeah.
They showed the first 2 episodes,
Okay.
and it's a 6-episode series.
Yeah, you can plow through it
Binge it.
super
'Cause
duper
they're 30
fast.
minutes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's about the equal length of Beau is Afraid. So
Yeah.
it's way better.
Yeah,
on
Dominique
Amazon Prime.
Dominique Fishback, who plays
Fishback, yeah.
Gray, she's the
Mhm.
main character. She is an incredible actress. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think she got
absolutely
nominated
incredible.
for an Emmy.
Nice.
Yeah, it is an amazing piece of work that is, my God, is as tense a film as you're ever going to find, and the fact that she plays this just total sociopath killer, who is really like she's incredibly protective of this Beyonce type character,
Naja.
that Naja that she worships. Yeah, it's an amazing thing. I also want to thank Amazon for the great drinks and tacos at the Swarm exhibit at South by Southwest. The drink was great, as were the tacos.
Nice
so good job, Amazon.
That
for
held
once.
up for a long time for you guys. That
Dude, I
was
saw it
early.
in March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also got to talk about Swarm with the Jersey Ghouls, so check out their podcast.
Yeah.
And we get all into Swarm.
Yeah, Swarm is
right.
great. I hope that Donald Glover and Janine Neighbors do something else similar to this, because it's man, they have got an incredible eye for horror.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good stuff.
All right. Robert, number two.
My number two comes from Lee Cronin.
Ooh.
Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Which was fantastic.
I think that's probably where we are with Evil Dead Rise. Yeah. So
Yeah,
think so.
I had it at 4 or 5, somewhere in there. Yeah.
I learned
had
something
honorable
kind of
mention.
cool about it when I was looking at it, making this list. And I haven't gone back to actually check out to see if it works. But rumor has it that if you watch Army of Darkness, and you know that Bruce Campbell goes and he's getting the Necronomicon, and there's 3 books there.
Yeah.
okay.
He gets one of them, the one with the face on it.
Uh-huh.
And that's the book that he's fighting through the 80s. So so 1981 Evil Dead, that's the book. There's another book that's kind of veiny.
Uh-huh.
That's the book in 2013, Evil Dead.
Oh.
And the third book has a different cover on it and is closed up by human teeth, and that's the book in Evil Dead Rise.
Oh,
That's
interesting.
what the story is anyway.
I
Yes.
hope that's true. That is very cool.
Yeah.
Man, this one, we had issues getting into the theater. I think Liz had to bail out because
That's all right. I'm
Overlook-
not this franchise fan, but I will tell you this is an honorable mention for me. And the cold open, phenomenal.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Phenomenal.
The first
At the
the
pond.
first 10 minutes of this
First
film
10 minutes. dude.
rival any
Yeah.
10
Yeah.
minutes of the opening of any horror film ever made.
It felt like that this film really stepped on the gas, and it really didn't let up much. It was.
No.
I think if it could be accused of anything, it doesn't give you a whole lot of relief.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I like that it didn't go super jokey either. I
No,
like
it
that
was
it was
not
it was
funny.
it was pretty dark.
No.
I think there were
It's not
some.
funny.
I mean, there were some
Couple of little gags.
clips
but
for
Yeah.
the homages back to the original series. Where
Sure,
you
sure.
go,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
look,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
We're graced with a family instead of a bunch of buddies, and I think that it's more. I think the impact that has. I think it was smart to do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And who's our lead, Robert? The actress, the mom. She was.
Was that Lily Sullivan?
Yes.
Or was
Yeah.
that the other one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, she
Yeah.
was. She's a model, and I think, but her features with her big eyes and her long limbs makes her when she turns freaky,
Super
Yeah.
freaky.
and it gave all of the gory fun moments that I could have possibly wanted out of a franchise that built its reputation on gory and fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Eric, to you.
Okay, so let's see. My number
two.
two is Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah.
Is that where we cap
That-
out?
I got it
I'm
number
speaking for Joseph, and we're going to table this.
Oh, no.
Nice,
Okay.
Joseph. Okay.
All right. So I guess my number 2 is also my number 2 is Talk to Me.
Table it.
Table
So
it.
you got some number ones. Okay, so
So back to Joseph for
Joseph's
his
number
number 1,
All right,
which
Night with the
is
Devil.
Late Night with the Devil.
The Late Night with-
Joseph
there we
has
go.
it as his number 1, and I will read what he says before we get into this. He says, this scintillating shocker is a spot-on depiction of a 1970s late-night talk show that goes horrifically off the rails, and it's an absolute blast. Viewers who grew up with Johnny Carson and his talk show contemporaries, as well as younger viewers who are familiar with that era, will especially get a kick out of the accuracy on display. The entire film is a gas, but the climax takes things to a whole new level. The practical effects denouements look terrific, and my jaw dropped at them more than once.
Yeah.
Number one for Joseph Perry. I had it at number 4. Mike? You had it high.
I had it at number 3. Yeah, I think the thing that's so funny about the film too is the conceit of it is that it's the Jack Delroy, the character played by David S. Malchin, is competing with Johnny Carson
directly
competing with not a Johnny Carson lookalike or an homage to Johnny Carson, but Johnny Carson. He's competing with Johnny Carson for ratings, and he can never quite crack the code. To beat out Johnny Carson, and so he comes across this idea of staging a live exorcism on TV.
To get for ratings.
Right.
And despite the fact that all of the warning signs, it's like, Jack, hey, listen, something's gone a little wrong.
I love the stagehand.
And they cut back and forth to the moments where the audience will ordinarily cut to commercials, and they go backstage and then they start talking about the weird shit that's happening, and they go, no, we got to keep going. I think we're onto something here,
right?
And it's like, don't. And it's, hats off to David, he our friend who had a fantastic year. This is his opportunity to be first on the call sheet star. I mean, leading man in a movie that when it comes out, it got picked up by multiple distributors because they have so much confidence in it. So it'll be available for the wide audience next year.
IFC and Shudder have it, so I'm sure you'll see.
And
we
didn't even mention the directors, the brothers Cameron Cairns and Colin Cairns. Australians.
Yeah, first time feature.
They've done a lot of horror stuff though.
But stuff on podcast kind of things. But there's a difference between pulling that off and pulling off a feature film. And boy, they hit all the right beats. Because I think the other
looks like they have done some features.
Have they?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And Mike and I were at the world premiere.
World premiere.
The second one.
Yep, the second
Overlook.
one.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I know.
It will be out. It will be out soon because I think the reaction, the critics who have seen it, including us.
Yeah.
We clearly love it. So
100%.
It was really, really hard. This was number 1 on my list until recently.
Yep. All right, Liz, what is number 1 on your list?
It's Talk to Me.
All right.
Yeah.
I think Robert has it at number 1 as well.
Yes, ma'am.
The Aussies are taking our top spot.
So start talking. Talk to me.
To hear all of our thoughts on Talk to Me, you can listen to Spooky Time episode 22.
Yes.
But,
in Technicolor.
In Technicolor. You can watch it too. Yeah. It is possession and drug use, like as metaphor. It is well acted. It is a fantastically talented group of teens. It is gory. It is shocking. It is bloody, but it's also
non-stop.
It's non-stop action.
Scary.
It's scary. It's
I'm
super
scary.
with what Eric said when he saw it. He's like, scariest thing since Hereditary. I mean, 100%.
Yep.
It hits you like that. It punches you in the face or smacks your face against a wall
or a table.
Or
oh,
desk.
God.
Dude.
It does not spare children.
No.
It does not spare children.
Well,
It
teens.
doesn't. I
Teens.
can't think of a better movie this year. I honestly can't.
Teens.
Yeah, and the bulldog.
Yeah.
So it had
very awkward.
It had some funny moments, which were both like that was funny and gross.
It had teens. I mean, they're all quote unquote getting high by getting possessed by this hand, and they're having a great time, as you do, until it goes wrong, which is the drug metaphor. It's all fun and games until
I think the
someone can't get rid of the possession. It's horrifying and wonderful and original.
Yeah.
And just these two guys, the Philippou brothers, man, they come from like doing YouTube and stuff like that, and you can tell. But that's what's kind of so exciting about it. They're taking something
But it
that us
fits,
old
though.
people,
Yeah.
are like, what? And they're making it brand new, and it fits.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what they do next. I hope they stick with kind of more indie
Well,
stuff.
didn't you say that they had already filmed?
Yeah, the
Yes,
prequel.
they had
The
filmed the
prequel.
prequel like on their phones while shooting the original. And A24 has greenlit a Talk to Me 2.
Oh.
Keep on talking. I don't know. So
Keep-
hopefully we'll
Yeah.
see that soon. I don't know if they're going to make it, the directors, but
Yeah. So
keep our ears to the ground on that one.
Hollywood, give Sophie Wilde more work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
she's
She,
great.
She's
she
great.
has earned it. She is the face of this film.
Yeah.
She's wonderful.
It was terrific, and I think it wouldn't work unless the kids didn't behave like kids really behave. I think that
Right.
was that they found that magic through line where
Peer pressure, stupidity, bad choices,
But not-
camaraderie, blind
You
faith.
think nothing's going to happen bad to you. It can't
Invulnerability.
happen.
Yeah.
I mean, because it wasn't. I think that they walked the magic line where the kids are smarter than they're doing things that they know that they shouldn't do,
Right.
and that's
Yeah.
one of the big things that makes a difference between stupid teenage horror movies and where they just act like idiots. They're doing things that they know that they shouldn't be doing.
Right.
So
And that's part of the fun.
that is
is
the
part of
fun,
the
yeah.
fun.
'Cause
All right.
it's like-
Fun.
'cause we've been there.
And Robert,
Yeah.
that's your number one, yeah?
That's my number one also. Yeah.
So, Eric, to your number one, number two.
Godzilla -1.
All right.
It is.
That's your number one.
That's my number one.
Number one,
It
all right.
It is the best
Nice.
movie I saw this year, and maybe the best movie I've seen in the last 3 years.
Certainly the best Godzilla movie.
It is
Woo!
the best. Yeah, the thing is, it's like you go in there. And I know Mike, you haven't gotten a chance to see it, but it is. The important thing is that the people matter.
Yeah.
It's yes, they absolutely nail Godzilla as it's actually scary, and the only times that Godzilla has ever been scary is when it's Godzilla versus humanity, right?
Right.
When it's Godzilla versus Megalon or Godzilla versus Gigan or Ghidorah or whoever, it's like it's fun. Those are that's dudes punching dudes. This is
Baragon.
You
forgot Baragon.
He's adorable. But anyways, yeah, there's nothing adorable about Godzilla -1. He is back to being a house of destruction. And
And this is not at all tied or linked to Godzilla Monolith, the new Apple series.
Nope.
Okay.
They're working in different universes, and it's
and
good.
not tied to any of the prior Godzilla versus King Kong, Godzilla King of the Monsters.
It's like a reboot.
It's a reboot.
Okay, it's a reboot of the 1950s.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
actually goes
okay.
back to the 40s.
40s.
So this goes to the
End of World War II.
end of World War II. It's a failed kamikaze pilot, which means he bailed out and he has to live in the shame.
I actually
of doing
thought
that.
I was fascinated by the stigma. I
Yeah.
just never thought of
Yeah,
it.
and then there's a lot of survivor's guilt. There is the whole thing. This is a movie that I think Japan should put up for the best picture of the year from their country, because it's about them.
Yeah.
It's really about.
Will the Academy pick it up?
They might.
Really?
They might.
Since they've expanded the field to 10.
Yeah, I think if you look across, it's got a 98 on the critics rating on
Woo-wee.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
raking in
alone.
the money.
I'm not alone.
Okay.
In Robert, you had it at 3.
3.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is a really good movie.
It's really good.
The stories of family, all that kind of stuff. I don't think it's now a fairly well known movie. I don't need to talk about it too much, other than to say it is it's a powerhouse thing where. What is my number one rule?
You got to
like
care
to
about
care
the
about
protagonists.
This one, you don't need Godzilla almost in this. The characters are so good.
Yeah.
And the whole thing of making a cobblestone family out of bits and pieces of broken lives. It is,
Yeah.
yeah. And the buddies on the boat. It's Jaws.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that's really cool. And Godzilla is scary. Literally, I mean, people have said this about Shin Godzilla. No, this is he's scarier than Shin Godzilla. It's actually the kind of a thing where you're going, oh God, don't kill him. Oh God.
Right.
And you're rooting for Godzilla to be destroyed and not the other way around.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
which is unusual. 38 films in, they got it right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So the number one film of the year is Cuando Acecha la Maldad, When Evil Lurks.
There it is.
I said
Nice.
back in August, July, when we recorded the Spooky Time, where we talked exclusively about Talk to Me, I said there is no film that's going to jump past this. I was completely wrong as can be, because I think When Evil Lurks, holy Christ, scared the hell out of me, grossed me out.
Yes.
And I don't think I've ever quite seen anything like this in a horror film. Frankly, all these things brought together, and not my number one rule, but a number one rule in horror films is you don't kill children. Oh no, they kill children. They kill lots of children. Yeah.
Oh, the
Don't want to say.
Another horrible dog scene.
Yeah, in brutal, absolutely brutal and frightening, terribly frightening ways. Yeah, this film,
it
man,
was bleak. That's a bleak movie.
it turned
Yeah.
everything up to 10.
Yeah.
Everything up to 10. And speaking of, much like Evil Dead Rise, when you say all gas, no brakes, this is all gas, no brakes. I mean, this literally starts from the first minute of the film, and then within 30 seconds you see, I can't even imagine the effects work that they had to do to create that body lying in the bed. I've never seen anything like that.
Oh, that's top notch.
Oh, yeah.
I have never seen
makeup
anything
work.
like that before
was
in my
gross.
life. And it's like, can you
gross.
imagine the amount of makeup and prosthetics they would have had to use to create that? I mean, hundreds of pounds of crap.
Unless you got a huge misshapen man to play that
Right.
role.
Yeah. Yeah. And the fact, so not only the fact that they have to, you see this poor misshapen man, they have to move him, which of course that's the premise of the film.
Well,
is
that's the problem. If they didn't move him, like the lady
I
said.
know. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't move the body. Yeah.
They didn't know the rules.
Yeah.
But I think that what impressed me was how quickly the characters settled in the introductions. I get this guy.
Yeah.
And it's like all of the characters, they all fit role. They're not archetypes either.
No.
And I think that
He's just doing the best that he can for what he's got.
Yep.
great story arc from like the dad who at first was the strong leading man, gets broken.
Yeah.
Just like, and you would. And the other thing was like the autistic boy. Oh God, give that kid hell of an actor.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then he's got to go back and plead with his ex-wife who hates him.
Yeah, that was the whole scene at the ex-wife's house.
Bleak,
there's so many
dark film.
highlight moments. I thought the first 2/3 of the movie was unimpeachable.
Yeah.
I thought the third act was like
when they go to the school.
When they go to the school was kind of, unfortunately for me, it was kind of the weak spot.
Sure.
But they had earned so much cachet in those first two acts, which was
I agree.
outstanding.
Yep.
So
All right, there you go. Let's why don't we each of us recap our lists and maybe add one or two honorable mentions. One or two honorable mentions.
Go ahead, Mike.
You want me to go with my full list?
Yeah, we'll go in reverse order. We'll start with you and work back.
Okay. So my top 10 list, my number 10 on my list was El Conde. My number 9 was the Swarm. My number 8 was Exorcist Believer. My number 7 was Boogeyman. My number 6 was Angry Black Girl and Her Monster. Number 5 was Monolith. Number 4 was Evil Dead Rise. Number 3 was Late Night with the Devil. Number 2 was Talk to Me. Could have easily been number 1. And then number 1 was When Evil Lurks, as I just mentioned. The two honorable mentions, keeping with Australian horror. This is a film I saw at Popcorn Frights called Puzzle Box.
Oh.
Super duper good. Super duper good. It was so darn close to having this on the list. And then the other one, this is a film directed by Jack Dignan. Puzzle Box is a really, really wonderful film. You can read my review at the Scariest Things website, scariestthings.com, 1T. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. And then the other one that was my honorable mention, as Robert and I already talked about, was Birth and Rebirth. It's a 2023 American horror film directed by Laura Moss. Man, if you ever feared parenting, birthing, child rearing at all, then this is the most horrifying thing you will see.
Okay. For me, 10, Suitable Flesh. 9, Minor. 8, Cobweb. 7, When Evil Lurks. 6, Cocaine Bear. 5, Hundreds of Beavers. 4, Evil Dead Rise. 3, Talk to Me. 2, Late Night with the Devil. And 1, Godzilla -1.
We thought the 2023 was the year of Australian horrors. Eric thought it was animals.
Yeah. I got
Godzilla,
beavers,
beavers, and bears.
Spiders.
Hundreds of beavers.
Yeah. So my honorable mentions, a fun film that I kind of left off the top 10 because it's more of a mystery than a horror movie, but I saw it through a horror festival at BFON. Life of Mariko in Kabukicho. I always get that mixed up. A movie that I really enjoyed that Liz probably wished was a little different was Knock at the Cabin. Another movie that Liz and I caught that's a little underappreciated thriller called Accused. That finished on my number 13 on my list. Frogman. A return to form for found footage horror. Really good. Came in at 14. So those are some, and then I'll throw in a movie. No, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave that. Those are the ones that I think are my strong recommendations going forward.
And if you want to hear our breakdown of Cabin in the Woods, go back to Scariest Things or Spooky Time from earlier in the year, where we break down both the book and the film.
Knock at the Cabin?
Knock at the Cabin, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, Cabin at the End of the World is the book.
Yes.
Knock at the Cabin is the film.
Oh, right.
Cabin at the Woods is something different.
Different.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Cabin at the End of the World. Cabin at the End of the World.
Robert.
Okay, my number 10 was, as Mike said, Rebirth. Number 9, Sister Death. Number 8, Renfield. Number 7, Suitable Flesh. Number 6, When Evil Lurks. Number 5, the Netflix series The Fall of the House of Usher. Number 4 was a tie between Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls and Totally Killer. Number 3, The Large Lizard Godzilla -1. Number 2, Evil Dead Rise. And number 1, Australian phenomenon Talk to Me. And I have one honorable mention that got bumped off the list because of Rebirth. Another another procreation horror, I guess. It's a movie that Joseph didn't particularly care for. I think he gave it like 3 or 3.5 stars. It's just struck a chord with me. It's called Clock, written and directed by Alexis Jacknaw. And if you're ever feeling like societal or family pressure to have children is getting you down, go ahead and watch this movie and feel a lot better.
Will you be vindicated or not?
You will be vindicated in your life's choices. Because this is a movie about a woman that caves and tries to fix it, and things go horribly, horribly wrong.
Okay.
Oh, we can't hear you, Liz.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
There you go.
Sorry, guys. I turned off my microphone because my phone was doing some weird things.
Okay.
My list. At number 10, I had a tie between Thanksgiving and Megan. At number 9, I have The Coffee Table. At number 8, Beaten to Death. Number 7, Where Evil Lurks. Number 6, Totally Killer. Number 5, Skinamarink. Number 4, Late Night with the Devil. Number 3, The Fall of the House of Usher. Number 2, Swarm. And number 1, Talk to Me. And Joseph's list. At number 10, he had The Lord of Misrule. Number 9, Cobweb. Number 8, Brooklyn 45. Number 7, Talk to Me. Number 6, The Deep Dark. Number 5, The Wait. Number 4, When Evil Lurks. Number 3, All You Need Is Death. Number 2, You'll Never Find Me. And Joseph's number 1 was Late Night with the Devil.
All right.
All in all,
Yeah.
awesome
And
list.
your honorable mentions?
My honorable mentions, everybody else was able to cover because mine would have been Renfield, Evil Dead Rise, and Onyx the Fortuitous, which
Nice.
God,
There you go.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I also had Renfield, Megan, Onyx the Fortuitous also, and would be on
good,
my.
stupid fun.
All right. Before we close out, let's one hot take of the year. Eric, what is your hot take for 2023, the year in horror? Hot take.
Good diversity.
Good diversity.
I think in types of horror movies that we were offered up, I think it's spread out pretty well. It's clear on my list that I've got a little bit of everything. So.
Okay. All right. Robert, what is your hot take of the year?
Hot take of the year.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I was surprised at the depth of the studio offerings.
Yeah.
I was a little
For
disappointed
sure.
in the festival lineups this year.
Me too.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't think there's any question there. My quick hot take is, again, I've said it like 30 times this episode, but Australians really took over. And I think it's the fact that they, as a nation, as many nations, honor and cherish the arts and culture, and they fund it, and they actively fund it, and they allow films like these to be made, and it's pretty incredible. I met Cameron and Colin Cairns after the screening of Late Night with the Devil, talked to them about that very fact, and they said, yeah, that's why we get to make these, is because we have a country, we have a nation that actually supports the arts. Go figure.
Yeah, I got the same reaction from the Godless, Eastfield Exorcism, which also is very good.
Yeah.
And they were saying the same thing, that it's the government is willing to back horror movies, which is fantastic.
That's pretty cool.
And by way of proxy, XYZ Distributing is picking up all these films.
Right,
So good
exactly.
on you, XYZ.
Exactly. Liz, what's your hot take of the year to close us out?
First, I'll give Joseph's, which must
Oh,
be,
yeah.
hey, look to the Irish. I think. Follow
Have you
the
met Ireland?
rainbow to the
Irish
gold.
folk horror.
Irish folk horror seems to be his trend this year. Mine just is that I think, horror did so well at the box office, and we can handle the brutal stuff on the big screen. When Evil Lurks actually did really well. With Terrifier, bring on the gore.
Yeah, Evil Dead Rise.
Bring it on. And also, but at the other side, the franchise horrors did pretty darn well, and I think that's bringing in some of the more scaredy cats and younger viewers.
For sure.
Who will then be sitting in the seats at When Evil Lurks, cowering behind their popcorn, crying.